Back here with the timeout. Finished the last game off of the playoffs this weekend. Crazy game in Chicago. You had the Philadelphia Eagles coming in hot, but playing against 12-4 Chicago Bears. I'll go first here. I was impressed with Chicago, and in the fact their defense is legit. And I thought they did a great job. Nick Foles threw two interceptions early. I kind of thought they had a chance to. They could have shut the door on Philadelphia, but we've seen it the last 2 years. If you don't shut the door on the Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Foles, he's going to find a way to win. And what happened is, the Bears get a chance, and then all of a sudden, Nick Foles has like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game, drives all the way down the field, and Golden Tate, another player they stole, he catches a touchdown pass, and the Eagles go up. And then credit to the Bears. Cohen has a great return, and then Trubisky has one nice throw, and they're in field goal range. And then looks like the kid got tipped and just hits the crossbar, and they get an unlucky bounce. But it just goes to kind of what we were talking about last game with Mitchell Trubisky's youth. I really thought a really good team with the mistakes that Foles made, they would have shut the Eagles. Like it would have been over. Boom, the Eagles would have had no chance. But when you let somebody like that stick around, what happens is they steal a game on the road. And, I said it. I thought the Cowboys were my NFC pick, but as soon as Nick Foles got the starting job because Carson Wentz got hurt, I was like, watch out. This team is dangerous, and they're tough. I'm going to roll with them again next week. That'll be the one prediction I'll share already. I'm obviously going to pick the Patriots. So I'll predict 2 games. But, they got it rolling, and I'm not going to go against Nick Foles right now. So, but they're going to have to replace number 29. I don't know his name, the corner. That dude looks like Brandon Watson from Michigan. He gets picked on.
Terrible. I'll admit he's terrible.
So
Zai.
they need a new corner.
Coach Zai, just stop it. You got lucky. You got lucky. I'm gonna call the full timeout on you on this one here. Bears had this game in the bag, should have won it.
Ellen, can I take a third?
Should have, could have, won it.
Let me take a 30 real quick. Did you pick the Bears or the Eagles?
Definitely pick the Bears.
Okay.
That's tough, buddy. I mean,
No, I mean, let's be honest. The Eagles shouldn't even have been in the game. They got dominated in every aspect of football. Every aspect. Mitchell Trubisky, you can't say the dude played bad. He had over 300 yards and a touchdown through no picks. What was the completion percentage? Again, he threw over 40 passes. The Bears couldn't get the run game going. Howard, Pick Howard only had like 30, 40 yards.
35 yards.
Yep, Cohen didn't get it going. But, I mean, the Eagles gave up 150 yards to Allen Robinson. He had a great game. The way I look at it, when you're the Bears defense, you have a 5-point lead, you got to go win that game. They're the best defense in the NFL, hands down, this year. There was multiple times, there was like 3 times on the touchdown drive where they had a 3rd and long or a 4th and long, and they gave up easy passes, almost like they were playing too conservative. If you're in that situation, why go zone and play the first down marker? Like, you guys are known to have a great defense. That defensive line is going to get you pressure. Go play man. Make Foles make throw a pass where a wide receiver has to make a play. And given, Alshon Jeffrey did make a couple plays. He had a couple, jump ball catches, which was nice. But the Eagles side of it, Foles threw 2 interceptions, only had, just over 200 yards through the air. Receiving-wise, nobody eclipsed over 100 yards. And the run game was absolutely atrocious. I mean, they gave it to Adams, Smallwood, Sproles. Nobody could get going on the run game. So thing I will say is because, I was a Lions fan, and Golden Tate's now my hero because I wore 19 all throughout high school, and I was the only one, and he is like one of the only dudes I've ever seen wear the number 19 in the NFL. So, hats off to Golden Tate. I'm glad he was the one to score that game winner touchdown. But you look at it, like I said, the Bears literally dominated this game. And I kind of said it, I was one to say that. That was my prediction, was that I thought the Bears were going to dominate this game, but it might be a little bit closer. The score's not going to tell it all. And realistically, we should be talking about how the Bears won. The field goal got tipped. His first one was good. It was a great timeout there by Peterson at the end. But I mean, things happen, and I know Cody Park, he's probably going to be feeling this for the next, the entire year. He'll be lucky to have a job next offseason just because the Bears fans are going to call for his head and call for management's head if, they keep him. But it kind of sucks watching a team lose like that. And again, I'll go back to this, especially in the playoffs, your kickers are either the heroes or the villains, and there's no in between. People either love them or they hate them. So, tough one for the Bears to lose. I thought they were a team that could have made a run. I don't think the Eagles win. I don't even think they come close to winning next week. I'll say it again. I just don't see it with Nick Foles at the helm. I like his game. I like the way he plays. He competes all the time, but I just don't think with him there, with no Jay Ajayi, you just don't have the talent to compete. So you never know, though. We'll see. They're coming off a big win. Got a little lady luck with them, so we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, me and I picked the Eagles, and a while back, when the Eagles started kind of turning around, Zai and I both said that the Eagles, if they make the playoffs, they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. And in order to make a run in the playoffs, that doesn't mean just win one game. So that is why I'm with Zai too. They're going to win next week, and they're going to meet the Saints. I'm telling you, it's going to be so I'm basically telling you guys all my picks right now. I didn't mean to do that, but so I mean, you're right, Trav. The Bears, you want to call a timeout on me too, buddy? I mean,
Stop it.
When it happens, I'll be calling a timeout on you, buddy. I mean,
Stop it.
all right, buddy. But no, Bears dominated the game, like Trav said. I mean, they really on all facets. But it just they were. I mean, the Bears are one of the best defenses in football, and they proved it tonight, like usual. I mean, only giving up 16 points, really impressive. But I think it goes to show you too. The Eagles, when it matters, their defense can step up also. They, late in the game, they're. I mean, yeah, like Zai said, number 29, they might need to find somebody else, because he was getting burned on some plays. But yeah, I mean, they didn't want to get nominated, but it just goes to show you, Mitch can't win big games yet. I don't think. I think he can in the offseason if he improves, he can get to that level, but not yet. I just thought, with him being young, his being his first playoff game, yeah, he had a pretty big game, but he didn't go seal it late in the game. They could have sealed it, gone up by 10 points or whatever it would have been, and put it out of reach. But I think it shows, the Eagles, Foles having a lot of composure to make that drive late in the game, and they ran it on first and second and goal, and the Bears called timeout, and it worked perfectly because fourth and goal, like Trav said, I'm a big Lions fan, they're my hometown team, and when me and Zai were watching, I'm like, they gotta throw it to Tate, for the win. And when they knew it, they threw it to Tate, and I was happy for him because he was one of my favorite players, at Detroit. Still like him, love watching him play. And so I was happy for him and happy to see him get the win for them. And yeah, I gotta ride with the Eagles again, boys. You guys might think me and Zai are crazy, but there's something behind their madness, and I think Doug Peterson might have some ice on his wrist because he iced that kicker on that timeout. But yeah, you feel for Cody Parker. Like I said, it looked like got tipped on that second kick, and I mean, how crazy is that for it to go off the post and the crossbar? I mean, if it landed on the crossbar the right way, it wouldn't have went in. It just landed the wrong way, and I mean, it sucks. I think the kicking, it can be so relaxing at times. You go out there and make your kicks, everyone loves you. No one talks about you. You're just old reliable, kind of like Matt Prater most of the time. He makes most of his kicks.
Don't even make that face, though, Zai, about Matt
Yeah,
Prater. Don't hit him up, boy.
He's reliable.
What's his postseason kicks looking like?
Chill.
Easy. All right, we'll talk about it another night.
But Trav, I gotta look at this a different way than you, and this is what I'm gonna tell you. Mitchell Trubisky, though, and this is what I'm talking about in the playoff games. He goes for 303 yards, and he only scores 15 points.
Yeah.
Defense plays really good. You got to score touchdowns in the playoffs, because especially when you're playing good teams, because when you give them enough chances and you let them stick around, really good teams find a way to win. The Eagles didn't do much. They don't have no running game, especially against Chicago, and they just couldn't do anything. And I really thought I really thought one of the biggest plays of the game. Nobody's really going to talk about it. But if you remember, it was like second down long, might even been third down. And Zach Ertz catches like a 6-yard pass and spins out of it, ends up getting like 15 yards. And I just thought it was the play they needed.
That was a
And
rookie kid. That was Goddard that
Yeah, I
did
think it was
that.
number 88.
okay, and if it,
Yeah.
I mean, just a heck of a play. And I thought that it gave Nick Foles to take a breath and say, "Hey, if we can block these guys, we're gonna score. We're gonna get this in the end zone." And then you talk about it. You get down there, and on first and second down, I thought Pete Carroll was calling the plays again because they ran the ball, got stuffed, and I'm like, "Here we go again." We're gonna see a goal line stand. Jeffrey, tough catch on third down, drops it at the goal line, and then they call timeout, which I was kind of questioning because I was like, man, if they get stopped, they could have used all 3 timeouts and they still would have got pretty good field position back. So they used the timeout and they scored a touchdown. So credit goes to not Nick Foles, everybody on that last drive, coaching staff, everybody that made a play. So, but it's kind of one of those things. Like I view it as in like the Atlanta Falcons when they're up 28-3 on the Patriots. They just didn't finish the job. They didn't keep the gas pedal down. And when you give great quarterbacks a chance, they'll find a way. And right now, Nick Foles has proven that in the last few minutes of big games, he's going to make some plays. I mean, he's been doing it. And, they had to win their last 4 games to get in the playoffs. They win this game. And their defense, that defensive front they don't get as much credit as they should. Fletcher Cox is an animal. Brandon Graham is an animal. And they got some dudes that can ball up there. Now, number 29, he probably should be looking for a job. I hope they are telling him that. But, everybody else, I think the Eagles will be okay. And this is why. Because the Saints like to run the ball, and the Eagles are going to shut that down. Drew Brees can make some plays, but at the end of the day, I think the Eagles' defense line is going to dominate the Saints, and it's going to be tough. So that's just my prediction. Nick Foles hasn't lost a big game in about 7 years. So, you know what? I'm confident in him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I don't see who's going to guard like Kamara out of the backfield and stuff. But I will say this. I thought both of you guys made a great point on this. The Biscuit, he had a great game. Mitch Trubisky, he had a great game. They didn't score points. I think you contribute. I watched this entire game all the way through. You could contribute a lot of that though to Matt Nagy, and I think you said it. Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Peterson, his play calling late in the game was terrific. I think the plays he called was terrific. Whereas Nagy, that last drive he settled. I thought. Mitchell Trubisky, that play right before, they spiked it, they called timeout. They had one shot. They took that one shot to the end zone. His receiver had an inside release with no safety coverage in the middle of the field. So if Mitchell Trubisky, if he makes that catchable, at least have your wide receiver attempt to go get that. At my point, especially with we see a pass interference call almost every other pass nowadays. So if Mitchell Trubisky at least allows the receiver to go make a play on that. You might get a flag. You're down at the 1 yard line. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. I think Matt Nagy and the Bears' entire offensive staff settled for a field goal. I mean, you've seen there was a replay even after Trubisky threw that out of the back of the end zone. There was a replay at Nagy saying, "Yeah, great play. Great play." Telling Trubisky that, and it's like, why we always. Again, it goes back to the kicking situation and kickers, but like your coaches almost put so much pressure on a kicker where you score that touchdown, there's nothing to worry about either way. You know what I mean? So at least allow your receiver to go make that play, allow your quarterback to go up. That's something that I do criticize Mitchell about in this game was the fact that pass by itself probably lost them the game single-handedly because, again, like I said, there was no safety coverage over the top. Your receiver has an inside release. Give him an opportunity. Playing wide receiver, that's the only thing that I ever wanted, and I know every receiver in the NFL ever wants, is just the opportunity to go get that ball. Parker and Ryan, I agree 100% with that, with the play calling and things like that, and the Trubisky not showing up in the aspect of, scoring the football.
Yeah, I think that you guys made a great point, If they would have, like Zai said, kept their foot on the gas pedal. I mean, even sort of one more touchdown, they would have been in fine position, and you wouldn't have to worry about the Eagles down the stretch coming back. And I think, like I was starting to say, you kind of feel for Cody Parker because, and with kicker, you're going to be all reliable, and then, but when you miss one kick or a couple of kicks, I mean, he might be looking for a job pretty soon, and you feel for him for that because it is a game. Gotta make the kicks when it matters, but I do put it on Matthew, the head coach, because the Bears were probably riding high, 12-4. They haven't done that in a while. Winning the NFC North, being the top dog, in the North for that. I mean, normally it's the Packers or Vikings, like last year, and to me, 12-4 and losing the first round. I mean, he's got to be hurting right now, and like Travis said, the play calling wasn't very aggressive late on, so. I also put it on him. But yeah, like fly Eagles fly, boys. Fly Eagles fly.
The only thing I'll say about the coaching and the play calling is that I think it just goes back to the experience. The Eagles have been there, done that. You watch Nick Foles. You watch Tom Brady last 2 minutes. I mean, it's like clockwork. It's like they've done that a million times. Especially when they're confident, they've proven to themselves. Trubisky's never had that much pressure ever in a game in his career. And even the head coach, so everything probably gets a little more rushed. It's just not fluid yet, and you got to be able to prove to yourself that you can do it. I'm not a big fan of. I thought like a couple times Trubisky was spiking it when he didn't need to, because I think that really good. Like you'll see Tom Brady, he'll get up to the line. It might even be a 2-yard pass out of bounds, but you still get 2 more yards, and it just wasn't a wasted play. Like the really good teams get up there, snap, and they know exactly what they're looking at, and they just continue. And I think that late in the game, I agree. I kind of thought the Bears got to a point like, hey, we're in field goal range. Let's just not lose this. Let's make sure we can get our kicking team out there. Where, again, the really good teams are like, hey, you know what? No kicking late at the end of the game is safe enough. We got to we just got to try to get some completions, get out of bounds, be smart. So I agree with that to some degree. But again, I think that a lot of that comes with experience, but hell of a season for the Bears. I don't think anybody predicted that they were going to go 12-4, kind of basically run away with that division and then dominate, the top teams in that division. And, we'll see what happens with the Packers hiring a coach, but, they could be the top team in that division for a long time if things keep rolling that way.
Yeah, I hope not, but I hope the Lions, start turning around and actually win a playoff game. But I got high hopes, but we'll see.
All right, just real quick before we're done, I just would like to get you guys' thoughts on Tom Thibodeau getting fired. He got fired today. Kind of was surprised by it. Kind of was out of nowhere. I guess they had the drama with Jimmy, but I figured, once they moved Jimmy, they kind of were, in my opinion, that was kind of saying, hey, Tom, we're sticking with you. We want to see what you're seeing out. But so just get you guys' quick thoughts. The only thing I did read was that they're interested in Chauncey Billups. And maybe Fred Hoiberg, and if they went after Chauncey Billups, it'd be a GM head coach, kind of like Van Gundy was for the Pistons. Doc Rivers has done it with the Clippers, stuff like that. So just real quick, let's not try to drag this out, but just quick thoughts and what you guys thought about that.
I mean, yeah, I think it was definitely surprising, they just beat the Lakers today and to fire him like that. And I think Fred Hoiberg is better as a college coach, so I wouldn't bring him in. I think, like as I said, they're looking at Billups. I think that'd be a great hire. I might be a little biased, being a Pistons fan, but I think that would be a good pick. And just really they've gone through a lot this year with Jimmy Butler and now him, but they need to get their franchise back around and start going in the right direction. Got to start figuring it out.
Yeah, I think the whole Thibodeau aspect of him getting fired like this, there was something going on the inside that we don't know about. After everything that went down with Jimmy Butler, I just feel like there's something not being talked about. I don't think Wiggins or Cat has played at their fullest potential like they should be. So he's been under fire for over practicing guys and overworking guys and not following these practice limitations and all this type of stuff. So I think there had to be something inside going on for a firing like this just to happen. Like you said, Parker, they came out and they whooped on the Lakers today. And then after the game, it's like, oh, yeah, see you, Tom, pack your bags. You know what I mean? So in that aspect of it, it's weird. There's something that happened or is happening that we don't know about. I think Tom's a good coach, and he's not going to be unemployed for long. As far as the new hiring aspect goes, I've been pulling for Chauncey to get a job for the past 2 years. I think he's going to be a great coach someday. Whenever if he gets it this year, whenever he does get a coaching job. I think he's going to be a great coach. He's a great player, great captain for the Pistons when he played. So I think he's going to be a really good leader. And, if they give him, GM options and coaching options at the same time, hats off, because I think the Timberwolves will see in 5 years that they made a really good hire there. Other than that, though, it all depends. There's rumors going to swirl about a lot of coaches out there right now with the way the entire carousel is going on. So we'll see what happens. But I do say, if Chauncey Billups is hired, that's a good hire for the Timberwolves. I think he can elevate the talent of these younger guys. He'll come and be a great leader, somebody that these players look up to. Whereas I think Tom, he was on his way out. It was only a matter of time. Like I said, he just wasn't getting the production out of these guys. Jimmy Butler situation, all the rumors that we hear all the time. I just didn't think it would go down this way.
I think this just shows, Thibodeau, even in Chicago, he doesn't get along with management. He's old school. He does have problems with. He kind of has that old school mentality that you should practice every day. You should be going 110% every day. And, in today's league, just with the technology we have, we all know that to play the grueling schedule the NBA plays and then be competitive at the end, you can't do that. You got to be able to take care of your body, and you got to be the freshest, at the end of the year when you play against the good teams, especially when the good teams have figured out now that it's okay to rest your superstars here and there and keep them fresh. Easy on the Lakers. Are playing the B squad tonight, so that win didn't really mean anything. But for the Timberwolves, I don't want to blame all this on Tom. I'm going to get more in depth inside the huddle on my personal section of timeout. But Andrew Wiggins is a bust, and so I don't want to get too in detail with that because I want to save it. But so I think when they got rid of Jimmy, who was one of their better players, they don't have a lot of pieces on that roster that's going to help you win. Like Taj Gibson's playing way too many minutes to be competitive in the West. So you look at the roster overall, it's not that great. They do have a young superstar in Towns. And can Wiggins be a role player? Sure, but he can't be your second best player taking the second most shots. Overall, I do think Tom will get another job, but, I don't know. I'm not as sure about that just because of the way he's went out in the last two jobs. But he has proven to always be competitive. They're 19 and 21. You've seen a lot worse records fly by. So, to me, the biggest thing is that it's just crazy time to do it because you're not, sure, if you know that you're going to go get Chauncey Billups or you really wanted Fred Hoiberg and you wanted to go get one of those guys before anybody else could even sniff them, sure, I'll be okay with that. But if they don't make a hire and they get some intern guy in here and they let it go out throughout the whole year, in my opinion, that's a bad decision. So kind of see how they play it out. It'll be interesting. I do think Tom Thibodeau's a good dude. I just think sometimes he's probably a little over top, especially with the way the game is now and the way guys want to be treated. So, you guys got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys joining the timeout. It's excited to watch the football games. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk about the national championship game tomorrow. Real quick, who do you guys got? Everybody got Bama?
Absolutely. Clemson.
Trav's got Bam. Parker's got Clemson. I'm going to have to roll with Clemson. I just think that they're the one team that believes it. They might not be the best team, but they only got to beat Alabama one night, and they've done it before. So I'm going to go with Clemson as well. So hope everybody tunes into that. It's going to be a great game, and then Tuesday we'll give you our thoughts on that. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more news. But thanks again for taking the time. And always, we love you from Timeout.
See you guys.